Okay, now something else to keep in mind when we're dealing with encryption and basically keeping our networks secure, our wireless networks that is, you need to be aware of the fact that there's something called an IV attack or an initialization vector attack. And basically what this is, or what you should take away from this, is that the older styles of encryption, all right, WEP specifically, uses a very weak encryption standard, all right? So the weaker encryption, 24-bit in this case, had very short initialization factors, and that would repeat fairly quickly. So if someone were to snip the wire for a period of time, and they kept track of everything, they could see that those keys would actually repeat over a period of time. So an attacker could flood the network, snip the packets, and see that the IVs, or the initialization vectors being sent, repeat. So as they do repeat, the attacker could derive the initialization vector from that, and then gain access. In other words, they could basically get the keys to the castle, as it were, and be able to decrypt that communication. So as I mentioned, WEP uses 24-bit or a 24-bit initialization vector. As you might imagine, it's been easily cracked and has since been deprecated, so it's not really used anymore. But just to give you an idea of how things kind of compare, we have three standards, one of which, as I said, we should avoid at all costs, and that's WEP, and that uses an RC4 stream, 24-bit encryption, and just some side notes, it's IV attack and packet injection can crack WEP in several seconds. So it doesn't sound very secure. You put WEP on your wireless network thinking, hey, I have some encryption in place. Someone who's very skilled at cracking that encryption can sit either across the room, in a coffee shop, or wherever they may have access to that wireless network and literally crack that within a few seconds. So as I mentioned, WEP's weakness, okay, initialization vector 24 bits long. That's the takeaway. Also, it's sent in clear text. So the initialization vector is also static and it's reused. And it's part of the RC4 encryption key. So the takeaway that I want you to really kind of get out of this is just don't use it, if at all possible. It's really worse than having nothing. If you have someone that's even remotely skilled, they can crack that. So there's two other ones that you should be aware of, and that's WPA and WPA2. WPA uses TKIP, and it's 128-bit encryption. Okay, now TKIP has been cracked as well. And then we have WPA2, which uses a different method. Okay, it's AES and CCMP. That uses 128-bit encryption as well. However, it has a 48-bit initialization vector. And what you need to understand here is 48-bit is not twice as strong as 24-bit. It's actually orders of magnitude stronger. So 25 bits is an order of magnitude stronger than 24 bits. 26 bits is an order of magnitude stronger than 24 or 25, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it grows exponentially. It gets exponentially stronger. So 48-bit makes it much more secure. And as I mentioned, really we should avoid WEP or wired equivalency protocol wherever possible, unless, of course, we have some older devices on our network that need that for backwards compatibility. If you don't need that backwards compatibility, then make sure you disable that and you use WPA or WPA2 instead.